Hello friends, and welcome to Red vs. Blue News. So it looks like AOC is trending in the news today, with her comment about referring to migrants as a surge of migrants being a white supremacist dog whistle. The Business Insider reports, AOC says referring to migrants coming to the US as a surge is a white supremacist dog whistle. So much of our national conversation, which is not a conversation about immigration, is driven by people who could not care less about immigrants. So often people want to say, why aren't you talking about the border crisis? Or why aren't you talking about it in this way? Well, we're talking about it. They just don't like how we're talking about it, she said while answering questions on her Instagram story. It's not a border crisis, it's an imperialism crisis. It's a climate crisis, it's a trade crisis, and also it's a carceral crisis, she added. She argues that the U.S. foreign policy legacy in Central America, its trade policies, and its contributions to global climate change have disproportionately affected the global South. Ocasio-Cortez also pointed out other issues with using the word surge. Anyone who's using the word surge around you, consciously, is trying to invoke a militaristic frame, and that's a problem, because this is not a surge. These are children, she said. I'll just play a short clip for you.
They want to say, what about the surge? Well, first of all, just gut check, stop. Anyone who's using the term surge around you consciously is trying to invoke a militaristic frame. And that's a problem because this is not a surge. These are children and they are not insurgents and we are not being invaded, which, by the way, is a white supremacist idea, philosophy. The idea that if an other is coming in the population, that this is like an invasion of who we are.
And of course, those comments have caused a stir, especially amongst Republicans. For example, here's Marjorie Taylor Greene's comment. AOC is lying and being a racist-blaming white supremacist. If she cared about children of all races, then she would be down at the border crying about the very real surge of children being trafficked in our country and stuffed in cages due to the policies she loves. And I'm sure most of us have not forgotten the photo op she did while Trump was dealing with the border. The most obviously fake crying photos I have ever seen any politician put out. And like always, AOC uses a bunch of buzzwords, but managed to say nothing on how to actually handle the border problem. And she's been awfully silent on the kids in cages, even though there's more now than ever before. Perhaps she should go down to the border rather than avoiding it like the plague. And calling surge a white supremacy word. So she must think that Washington Post, ABC, New York Times, the Biden administration, USA Today, are all racist networks using a white supremacist dog whistle. Surge by definition is something like a sudden increase. Surge implies too much, like too much of something to where it becomes a problem. Surges are fast, which means you need to act fast. Ocasio talking about climate change policy and imperialism and trade policy, that's a long-term, slow, complicated conversation. There needs to be action now at the border. And when Trump was in office, it was caravan. Now it's this administration and it's surge. The next administration, it'll be something different. And if AOC doesn't like the word surge, how about we just call it pre-Trump levels of migrants? What do you think? Comment below, and thank you for listening.